shall we have a look to see what messages the universe has for both you and me? I can hear someone going, please don't be love related. You and me both, buddy. I don't want to do a love reading, but if we must, then we must. So first card out is the Devil. Unhealthy habits. We have Two of Swords, the Tower, and the Death card. Now we're looking at, for once, not a love reading. Yay! So we've got some unhealthy habits that you are currently stuck in. I feel like some of you may be aware of these unhealthy habits. Some of you may be more aware than others. Some of you are trying to do something about it. Some of you are just accepting that this is where you're at in life. But there's two main things. Well, actually, no, I take that back. These healthy habits, should you choose to break them, should you choose to just accept these habits as they are, they're taking you on two different paths. And these paths are very important in terms of where you want to go in life at the moment. I feel like you're at a bit of a crossroads, more so a fork in the path rather than a crossroad. Whatever you decide next on how to go forward will determine where you end up, basically. Of course, the universe does always put you where you need to go, but I feel like this is a bit of an open floor for your free will. It's up to you, your guides are saying, it's up to you to decide where it is you want to go and how you want to go about it. Now, first things first, these unhealthy habits, I want to say unhealthy coping mechanism. So this could be substance abuse, this could be, well, rather than abuse, usage of substances, alcohol, smoking, you know what, you name it, even eating bad food. Food that you know is not good for you but tastes good. So you've got that short-term gratification and that dopamine rush, but in the long term it doesn't do you any good whatsoever. Understandably, we are, when I'm filming this, although it's timeless, we are in the Christmas festive period, so it might be somewhat okay to have some cheeky snacks, let's say. But as you can see from all of these cards right here, there's a lot of yellow, and this yellow signifies your solar plexus chakra. So whatever it is that you're doing that you can't quite get a hold of is massively affecting your solar plexus. Now, what is your solar plexus? What does it govern? Well, first of all, it governs your willpower, your ability to be self-motivated, self-dedicated, self-disciplined, your ability to share yourself with others in a positive way. The negative connotations of an overactive or underactive solar plexus can be ego trips, power trips, low motivation, absolutely no discipline, no direction. You don't feel like you have the will to do anything, let's say. And because you have perhaps low motivation, low discipline, and just a bit of a lack of will here, that will allow you to continue in your unhealthy cycles, if you know what I mean. So it might be that you've been smoking or drinking or eating the wrong foods a little bit too much recently, but the only way you're going to get out of that is by breaking the cycle somewhere. What also came out was your High Priestess next to these three cards. Now, this is usually, if you know tarot, you know, this is more like our deceptive card. But I don't feel like anyone is being deceptive to you other than yourself at the moment. Or at least what Spirit wants me to bring attention to the fact that is you're actually deceiving and manipulating yourself in some way by telling yourself that these things are okay, but you know deep down if you really want to flourish and grow as a person, you have to cut it out, you know, pretty much you've got to cut it out. If you want to change something about your life, you've got to do something different, and this is what Spirit is pointing you towards. There's a lot of things in your life here that you are actually making a lot of headway and progress to, and your guides, particularly some loved ones who have been looking out for you in the spiritual realms, they wish that you cut out some of these bad habits or at least minimize them to the point of no disruption so that you can really see just how much you grow, how fast you grow, and how incredible your journey would be if you took one of these different, more healthier paths. So, enough about diagnosing what is actually going on and what these bad habits are. let's see if we have any advice on how it is that you can break these cycles, because we all talk about giving things up, especially New Year coming. We all talk about what it is we want to change, but oftentimes we don't know how to, because if we did, it might be making it a little bit easier for us to make those changes. Now this is quite niche. What I'm about to suggest is quite niche, and I feel like rather than advice, this is maybe helping you understand the cause or the root of why you've gained these unhealthy habits. A lot of it is complacency. Now for some of you, I feel like you are actually, and I resonate with this, so maybe this is why I have to give the reading, is you're almost paralyzed by your own potential. I call it potential paralysis. You're almost overwhelmed by all the things you actually are capable of doing in this lifetime, because you've realized your limitless ability in this life that has actually paralyzed you from taking any action whatsoever. So you've almost rested in this little bit of half complacency of knowing that you have it better than others and you have the brains, the skill set, and if you wanted to, you could sort of energy. That's allowed you to be a bit more complacent in understanding that you feel like you have a lot of time. Now, your guides are not telling you that you don't have time, but they wish that you just got a bit of a move on because of all the things that you could be doing. Now, for others of you, this potential paralysis has actually come from being completely scared and not feeling good enough to be able to do these things. So some of you may feel like you're good enough. That's not what the issue is. You actually feel like you have plenty of time and you're just not really getting around to doing it. Others of you are scared by your own potential, by feeling that you're not up to the challenge. So for those of you, your guides are telling you you have everything you need. God or the universe does not give you missions or plans or things that you need to complete in this lifetime if you weren't capable of doing it. So this is your confirmation and reconfirmation to suggest that you are able and capable to do what it is that your heart desires for you to do. Others of you, the complacent ones in this group here, get a move on. That's all I'm saying, is we don't have too much time, we don't have too little time, we have just the right amount of time. So if you feel like you need to take action on something, do not hold yourself back. Because like I said, the only person who you're deceiving in this situation is yourself. So stop trying to tell yourself these kind of misconceptions about where you're at, and just stop making excuses and get a move on. Whoever's guides this is, specifically, they're not messing about. Like, I feel like you may have been given lots of subtle hints and really like compassionate hints in your life from the universe, but this one isn't meant to be coming forward in that way. It's not meant to come forward in a harsh way, but it's meant to come forward in a way that it actually knocks at the door in your head so that you can make some progress with your life. Let's get a couple more cards, and we'll get the compassion cards out as well, and then we will call it in. You might have a bit of a lack of focus at the moment. Every single card that's been the Pentacles, actually no, I'm lying, that's not true. This card in particular is upside down. So we've got the Eight of Pentacles, we've got the Ace of Cups in reverse as well, and we've got the Three of Wands looking out into the distance. There's a lack of focus here, you know, and I think it's because you might be the type of person who's really interested in lots of things in life and therefore can't choose what it is that you want to do. It's a bit different to the beginning of this reading, where it's that choice of healthy habits. Do I make a move and start cutting out things that are not good for me, versus do I stay in the same situation that I'm in? This is, what do I choose? What do I do? The universe has given you so many different options of where you can progress your life that you're almost a bit stuck because you don't know what to do. Now, unfortunately, no one can really help you with this other than yourself. But what I will suggest is to take some time to be more mindful and be in the space of your own being. Don't try to do straight away. That's quite counterintuitive to what I mentioned a little bit earlier. But before you make those steps, take a moment for yourself and start to understand what you truly want. Asking other people, asking your family, asking your friends, even asking spirit sometimes isn't the best way to get the answers you need. It's actually all within yourself. You need to spend some time with yourself to truly understand what it is that you want. This could be many things. And if you can't decide on just one thing, decide on 2, 3 at the very maximum, as long as it doesn't take a lot of your time. You don't want to spread yourself too thin with all the things that you want to do in life. If they complement each other, there is no reason why you can't work on them all at the same time, as long as you give it all the right focus. That's something I do personally. A lot of people don't tend to agree with me on this, but it's something that works quite well with myself. I don't like to just focus on one thing. I can't do it. My brain is always flowing, but what I've decided to do is to have my priorities of 2 to 3 things that I really focus on. They're usually projects, and work on them with even amounts of energy. Sometimes one project might give you more stress and it needs more attention. Other projects maybe not so much, but at least try to balance out the workload between the things that you're choosing. If you cannot balance out that workload, then you're doing too much. You know what I mean? This only works for people who are good at balancing lots of things on their plate and find that more fulfilling, the variety of different things in your mind. I can't finish a book from start to finish. I probably have like 2-3 books on the go at the time and work on them all in my own pace. That's just because I like variety in my life. So I digress. What I'm trying to say is spend some time with yourself, sit in it, think it. Don't overthink it too much. Just do what comes to you. Think back to yourself as a kid. If you're really stuck on what you want to do in life, think about what it is that you enjoyed as a kid and if you think it's still possible to do. As I said earlier in this video, it's dependent on whether you think yourself as someone who's got that potential paralysis because you genuinely know that you're capable of doing these things and you're overwhelmed by how much spirit wants you to do in this lifetime, or you're on the other side of the party where you've actually got this potential paralysis because you don't even think that you're up to the challenge. So first things first is to decide which type of person you are in that. Then going forward, decide what it is that you want to go forward with. If you have something that you want to focus on, you know it, go for it straight away. Do not waste time. You have enough time to do everything you need. So if you know you need to do it, start it now. If you need more time to think about it, have that priority list. See if you can balance a couple things out at one time and then go from there. All of this is the answer to changing those bad habits. We've come full circle. Now I understand. It's all about going full circle around, choosing what you want to do in life, having that focus, and those bad habits will naturally start to change and weave their way out of your life. If you focus on the bad habit themselves, like smoking, for example, if I say I want to stop smoking, I'm not going to stop smoking. But if I start training hard again and I start going out and positively distracting myself from the thing that I feel like I need, I'm naturally going to stop smoking a lot less. You get me? There's 2 more cards that fell, so let's do it. We have the Sun and we have the Page of Wands. Now, your guides are really proud of you. They don't want to be harsh to you, but they want you to get the message because they really want the best for you. But they're really proud of you. And especially if you have a loved one that has passed away and it's a feminine energy, they're really looking out for you. You may not have always had the best of times with them whilst they were on this earthly plane, but that's because you didn't necessarily see eye to eye in the way that they wanted the best for you. But now, whilst they're in spirit form, they definitely, most certainly, always want the best for you. Now, onto the compassion cards. 2 activities, one at the beginning and one at the end. In the morning, when you wake up, you reflect on the day ahead and aspire to use it to keep an open, wide heart and mind. At the end of the day, before going to sleep, you think over what you have done. If you fulfilled your aspiration from the morning, even once, rejoice in that. If you went against your aspiration, rejoice that you were able to see what you did and no longer living in ignorance. This way, you'll be inspired to go forward with increasing clarity, confidence, compassion in the days that follow. So, in the morning, wake up, plan what it is that you're going to do. If you can't plan, envision. You know, there's a difference. Let your body, yourself, your soul flow through you in the morning. before that logical mind steps and kicks in for the day. Tell yourself what it is that you want to achieve. And at the end of the day, go back through your day and see if you really achieved that. And if you didn't, why didn't you? And if you did, rest grateful for that. But even better yet, if you didn't manage to do what you set yourself out to do for the day and you acknowledge that before you go to bed, rest grateful for having that awareness. You know, awareness is so powerful. So also rest in gratitude if you don't manage to do what you set out to complete that day. Anyways, my lovely souls, it has been my pleasure. We'll see you soon.